Usually games start off with a title screen and have an opening cutscene with characters blabbering, with exposition dumps and blah 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 blah. But Sifu is an action game. So when I first booted up the game and saw that the first few seconds is a shadowy figure jumping on roofs and the title screen smoothly transitioning into the gameplay, ooh, I just knew this game was slick. Sifu is the 2022 action experience crafted by Slowclap in the beat-em-up genre. A fitting name for a game that lets you beat up whoever you want.
If you're not on the list, you're not getting inside.
The game starts off with you beating up a group of students and then literally killing our main character's father. I'll show you how fast I decided the character's gender. Anyway, with your father being murdered right in front of your character, they swear vengeance and death to the group of assassins, and so we follow the character's path of revenge through challenging challenging gameplay. Finally, within this game, you'll be actually forced to use your brain because mindlessly mashing won't work, even on easy mode. I had slowly realized, holy crap, this game is hard. Come on! Okay, so now what? I try again, and I die again. So I turn the game mode to easy, and try again, and nope. So then what? I'm mashing all the buttons, so why isn't this game working? You're going to need to time your parries and avoid just to get any advantages you can on your enemy. Getting hit either means you'll be taking beatings, pushed off the stairs, swept off your feet, bottles thrown at you, death by a staff, death by kick to the face, death by hitting the wall. You're going to need to quickly accept that you will be hit and killed a lot. But it's death that is so ingrained to the gameplay that is made into a whole mechanic, but we can talk about that later because we quickly gotta talk about the sauce this game has. And if you want to subscribe in the meantime, go ahead. It's crazy how good the game looks despite how simple the style is. Sifu manages to keep a simplistic art style using obvious shapes and carefully placed lighting that gives each scene a unique stylized look. Like in the second level, you're walking into a club that first starts off with the usual club colors like blues, purples, and hints of red. Truly, this area is one of the nicest looking hangouts in the game, and it transforms into a city that's been set on fire as you battle some of the bosses of this hangout's disciples. Now, the cooler colors are replaced by bold reds that help fuel your path of revenge. And so you take it out on some poor students. There are other beautiful spots in the game, like the museum hideout. Not only does this have my personal favorite boss in the game, but the arenas are so pretty, with it fully taking advantage of the museum aesthetic, to the point where one of the rooms has a light bulb installation full of colors that you're able to grab and chuck it at your enemies, and it'll even leave them splattered in paint. I love this. It's just so good. Along with the boss of this hideout being really pretty in itself, it just starts out in a cold winter forest as Karuki states that she doesn't wish to fight you, and that from experience, your feelings of vengeance will not cease within your battles. And for the boss fight, you're forced to play patiently as she throws out multiple attacks in quick succession, which forces you to evade and wait your turn. And the heat really ramps up for the second phase as she switches her visual appearance, her weapon, and the arena you're fighting in. Now it's a beautiful grayed ocean as she attacks you with quick charging attacks, slashes, and throwing projectiles at you. We'll go over the bosses later, but overall, each section of this game looks vastly different, with striking visuals that are full of beautiful colors that are able to communicate the themes of this game extremely well. But the pretty visuals are of course backed up with thrilling gameplay, as you fight your way through different hordes of enemies using different martial art moves that make for really addicting animations. Fighting in this game feels addicting. Even at times, it will be very punishing, forcing you to retry after retry. And it helps that every time after you die, you will come back to life from where you were, but you will be given a chance to obtain different attacks, and your character will age a little older. Your character will age the number of your death counter, which ticks up every time you bite the dust. This is what helps make dying not feel as bad and encourage you to try again. The attacks you're able to obtain range from different skills like spin, hook, kick, charge, back fist, weapon catch, chasing strikes, even crotch punch, and much more. You will also have access to choose focus attacks like face smash, thigh cut, double palm focus, cobalt, and these help with dealing high damage attacks to your foes. The combat in this game is out of this world. It focuses on hand-to-hand fights where you and your opponent are constantly trading blows as you evade any incoming attacks. You're going to have to plan and coordinate your moves against the harder foes due to this game being anti-mashy. Sure, you can get away with hauling ass on the normal enemies, but as soon as you get to a mini boss or a boss, it's either lock in or perish. Both you and anyone you're fighting will have a stance meter that will fill up based on if you're getting hit by an attack of yours is parried, or even if someone completely dodges it. When your meter fills up, you will be temporarily stunned and vulnerable to any oncoming attacks, but if you manage to fill your opponent's meter, you will be given a prompt to take them down. This will give you extra health, which helps lasting longer in runs. It's absolutely vital to understand the ins and outs of this game, because otherwise you'll be heading into your 50s pretty early. Like, the second leader is Sheen. He looks really cool, but he's also the reason why the script is taking so long, because I keep freaking dying! This boss forces you to understand how to avoid and dodge with good timing and rhythm. He's really challenging for new players, but once you get the hang of it, the win will feel very satisfying. Each of the bosses are a big highlight of the game, because each one is really cool, but also really fucking hard. Each of the bosses forces you to play by their rules. Like Jinfin forces you to play more patiently with her bell-chained weapon. She's also able to throw out long-reaching attacks that will constantly have you running around and dodging, and you to be knocked to the floor, like, a lot. So it can feel extremely satisfying when you're able to finally close in on a boss, and you hear that, and it all really clicks. I feel like I haven't talked about the combat in this game enough, so let's dive into that now. You fight using light and heavy attacks, and you do combos using these attacks in the correct order. Each fighting move is flashy and useful for getting the edge on your opponent. Like, you're able to push them away from you to help create space, or for crowds of foes. Stun enemies, knocking them to the ground, spin kicks, sweep attacks, and so much more that makes the combat of this game have so many layers. Attacks will build up the stance meter, as we talked about earlier, and you will be able to take them down in a lot of different ways that are dependent on the situation. You get different ones based on what weapon you're holding, how big the enemy is, if you're near a wall, if you're near a counter, if they're on the ground. Even your enemies are able to do these on you. As you can tell, your environment is able to help you deal with your enemies, as it can provide you with ledges to throw your enemies off of, walls to push them into. You can even kick furniture at them. There are countless ways you're able to attack your enemies. One of them uses your focus meter, as you can slow down the fight to deliver a precise strike depending on which option you choose. I probably could have talked about it more, but the sound design in this game is top notch. Punches, attacks, weapons all feel weighty to make each fight even more satisfying. From the gentle gusts of wind created by the swinging of your weapon to the overall cinematic appeal this game has. Like, come on, this is just sauce. Sifu offers many different ways to defeat your foes in satisfying ways, and it's aided by its amazing art style, sound design, and the game being an overall blast of losing track of time with. But a story about watching your father getting killed by the same character you just played as you go on a quest for vengeance as you find out maybe revenge is bad? Sounds like just another hit action game I played. Maybe we don't have to talk about that though. Okay, quick Q&A for the end of the video. Salesman's got a couple. 1. Do you think Abby is a good character? Yeah, I mean, good is a very strong word. I think she's a very gray character, and I think that's very okay. Do I think she's a good written character? Yeah. The stealth in The Last of Us Part 2 is really, really good and fun, and I have a whole video about that. What's the best combat encounter in the second game? This was actually really hard to pick from, but I'm gonna go with the Seraphite patrol on Ellie's Day 2. I like hiding in the grass, but maybe my answer would change on a different day. To George Official asks, would you ever want to see a part 3? Yeah, absolutely I would want to see Last of Us Part 3. What do you think it'll be about? Yeah, I think you're right about the redemption part. I think it could very much end with Ellie giving up herself for the cure of mankind. I'd just like to see how it'd be written. Did you know that there's a Last of Us board game? Yeah, I did, and I don't think I'll ever play it, but if people want to see me play it, who am I to say no? Thoughts on The Last of Us Online? Like the canceled Factions game? I never played the original Factions, but I did just pick up the PS3 version of The Last of Us, so maybe I'll get into it. I think Sony and Naughty Dog's really missing out, not capitalizing on this cash cow when I heard the multiplayer was really good. And if you'd like to be included in the next Q&A, consider becoming a member today to get exclusive benefits like Q&As at the end of videos and to early access to new videos. Otherwise, I don't know, go walk your pet fish or tell your neighbor you love them or something.